Hello, welcome back to another video. I hope you've had a lovely week. I am so excited to sit down and chat to you about a topic that has been at the forefront of my mind now for the past couple of weeks. And I've thoroughly enjoyed browsing Pinterest, being observant in my day-to-day life, and thinking about things that I find luxurious, because luxury is different to every single person. I'm going to share with you guys the definition of luxury because it will really expand or broaden the term for you, and it will also explain why so many little things, like simple things, something that someone's handmade for you or things that are homegrown, will bring so much joy and feel almost like a luxury to use. And it's because luxury is a state of great comfort or elegance, especially when involving great expense. And expense doesn't have to be through money, it can be through time or effort. There are so many things that we can find luxurious in our day-to-day life, and I think it would be really nice to sit down and kind of highlight some of those for you. And I would love throughout this video if you jumped in the comments below and just let us know, what do you find luxurious? So without further ado, I'm going to share with you my list whilst sipping on a nice little peppermint tea in a teacup, might I add. I'm actually going to start with this. This is my first definition of luxury for me. I find whenever I am sipping a drink out of an actual teacup and saucer, I don't know if it's because we've seen it on movies or we look at this as quite a sophisticated act, it always makes me feel a kind of way that I really like. So the only issue with this is the size isn't great. I would love to get a larger size teacup. I know that you can actually get mugs and saucers, which would be perfect. So that's currently what I'm on the hunt for. I'm looking secondhand. Whenever I pass an op shop, I'm always looking for a larger size teacup if possible. And actually this particular teacup and saucer I found at an op shop in London when I was 18 and I was living there, and I ended up bringing it home. It only came with the 4 saucers and the 4 little cups, but since then I have been browsing on eBay and also Facebook Marketplace, and I've managed to collect like the entire tea set, the little sugar bowl, I've also got the little milk jug, the actual teapot, and I just absolutely love using it because it holds so many memories. So if you haven't already tried drinking your tea or your coffee out of an actual cup or saucer, I highly urge you do, because it really has elevated like every hot drink that I have. Next up, we have the obvious one for me and my channel, and that is vintage designer handbags. Of course, this would be a classic example of like a luxury item. However, they're not expensive. Like I don't think I've spent more than $400 or $500 on a lot of my vintage designer handbags. Where the expense comes in is the time and the effort it's taken for me to actually find these pieces. And one of my most asked questions here on YouTube is, where do you find all of your vintage or secondhand handbags? And I can't give you a straight answer. Honestly, I shop Vestiaire Collective, eBay, Depop, Facebook Marketplace. Any kind of reselling platform, I will always browse. I can't even begin to tell you how much time I have spent browsing a lot of those sites. I actually have 3 more vintage designer items on the way. I was hoping they would be here for this particular video, but it's now Saturday and I thought they might arrive yesterday afternoon, but they didn't. So if you're not already subscribed, subscribe and turn on that notification bell, because next week I'll probably be unboxing them with you all. So the reason I wanted to share this one with you out of my collection is because I find just top handle structured bags very luxurious to use, and they always make me feel really elegant. And that's something I've also realized quite recently, is I would love to add more of these to my collection and try to use them a little more in my everyday life. I know that since opting for the slouchier shoulder bags, they're so comfortable and it's hard to go back to a smaller structured bag, but I really want to, because they do make me feel quite elegant. And even if someone gave me $10,000 tomorrow and said you can use this to buy a handbag, I would not walk into a store and buy one brand new. For me, I love the hunt. I love finding something that has a story to it. Like, the idea that someone else has been using this one came from Japan, so someone had purchased this, used it, loved it, and sold it on. It always just intrigues me, and not to mention the quality craftsmanship of the older style bags is next to none. Next up, we have seasonal candles. So this is something I have tried to incorporate a little more just into my life in general, is living a little more seasonally, decorating my house seasonally, and a really easy way to do that is to purchase a new candle each season, and it's something that I look forward to. Next up, we have Halloween, and I am so excited to purchase a Halloween style candle. Obviously here in Australia, it's not autumn during Halloween, so I don't usually go for the cozy scents. So we can get a little more creative. Last year, I actually purchased one of the Glass House little Halloween carousels. So no matter what scent I purchase, I can always add that little carousel and it'll add a little bit of Halloween to my home. And just limited edition candles in general are such a luxury for me. I think it is because you know you're only going to use that candle for a short period of time, so you really enjoy it. I actually emailed Glass House Candles the other day asking if they were going to bring out a Halloween collection, and they responded. They said they can't give away too much information, but to keep my eyes peeled because they have something very exciting coming. So I am super keen to get my hands on one of their limited edition Halloween candles. I'm so glad I did it about 2 Christmases ago. I bought one of their gorgeous Christmas candles, which of course that was just for that Christmas, and they don't have those anymore, and every Christmas they've had since then, I haven't really liked them. So I'm so glad I got my hands on those because I can just refill the actual jars and reuse them with my Christmas decor. Next on my list, we have Gemstone Jewellery. I would love to incorporate more color into my everyday jewelry pieces, and I thought a great way of doing this is to either repurpose some jewelry that I own. I could always look at antique markets or secondhand stores to see if I can find any pieces that could potentially be remodeled. And then also I received some pieces from Zoru recently, and this is what kind of sparked this whole thing. I just love the little bit of color to it. So it's actually like a beaded bracelet, and it's got these gorgeous green gemstone beads on there. And I've just really enjoyed looking down at it each day. I will layer it with other just plain gold pieces, and just that little pop of color is really nice. And then I also have the little matching earrings. In addition to that, when we were in Italy, I purchased this gorgeous little cameo style ring, and I love to wear this. I also get so many compliments on it, and I think it really expresses my personal style and a little bit of my personality in a really subtle way. So I generally wear this on my middle finger like that. And if I'm just wearing a really minimal outfit, which I usually do, a lot of my wardrobe is very neutral colors. So to add a little bit of interest through my jewelry is always fun. I also have a piece here that I want to get remodeled. This was my grandma's, and I think it was actually my great-great-grandma's to begin with, and it was a ring, but I had it changed into a pendant because I thought I would wear it a little more. But I do want to get it changed back into a ring. So it's this gorgeous blue oval sapphire, and it is surrounded by a few diamonds. But I would love to have this remodeled into a ring, something that I can wear every single day. It'll probably cost around the $1,000 mark to have this remodeled into a beautiful piece. But if it's something that I can wear every single day for the rest of my life and something that I can hand down to my own children, I think it'll be well worth it. Moving on, we have soap, like actual bars of soap. So a few weeks ago, maybe about 3 weeks ago now, I started to use again, because I know it works well for my skin, just a bar of soap each evening. I've been using the Dr. Bronner's actually. I bought a couple of bars of those from TK Maxx because they had them on sale. Because my skin was just constantly breaking out, and I was just at wit's end and wasn't sure where to turn. But I was aware that my skin always looks its best when I just keep it simple. So I purchased these bars of soap and I put all of my skincare away. All of my beautiful Chanel skincare, my new Mamo skincare that I spent money on, and everything, I put it away and out of sight. And what I've been doing is each morning when I wake up, I simply rinse my face with water, and that is it. And then of an evening, I will go in with just a bar of soap to wash my makeup off. Sometimes I will double cleanse with the bar of soap, and my skin has never been this clear. So I'm currently on the hunt for my next bar of soap, and I am super excited. If you guys know of any really nice soap brands, please let me know in the comments below. I have been thinking about heading to my local markets tomorrow because I know there's a lot of stalls there where they'll make organic natural soap, and they'll have like a huge stand, and I could maybe try out some of those. And the other great thing about bars of soap is I can use it for my whole body. It's just one thing that is in the shower, and I can just kind of use it for everything, and it just works really well for me. So natural bars of soap I find very luxurious, and there's something nice about having such a minimal routine. Next, we have intentional home decor. So I realized this when we moved house. Everything we were getting rid of was like mass-produced things, vases that I just picked up from Kmart. All of these things didn't have much meaning to me. And I said to myself, in the next house, I want to be so intentional with every single thing I bring into the house, because not only do I want something to look nice, but when something holds meaning or has a memory attached to it, it evokes such a beautiful feeling. as I'm kind of living in my home. And they don't even have to be expensive things. The things that I was holding on to just meant something to me. We've got this gorgeous tile that we purchased when we were in Italy, and it wasn't particularly expensive or anything, and it was just from one of those souvenir stores. But I thought this hanging somewhere, either outside in our little outdoor area or even in the kitchen, would be so beautiful. And every time I look at this, it just brings back those memories of us whilst we were in Italy. So I really love this for that reason. Next, we have this little brass key. Well, it looks like a key, but it's actually a bottle opener. So you've got the corkscrew here, and then in this center part is where you can use as a bottle opener. And Ryan and I were actually in New Zealand, and we were driving out to Cardrona, and we passed this little antique store sitting on its own, and it was open. So we pulled in and I managed to pick this up, and I absolutely love it. Again, it has a memory attached to it, plus it's old and it's an antique itself. And again, it wasn't very expensive, but it's just very beautiful having this sit on my wine cabinet. Recently, I picked up all of these Peter Rabbit books from an antique market, and this was before I was even pregnant, but these are some books I want to display in my baby's room, which I am yet to set up, but I would love to have these displayed on a shelf or something. But the fact that they're old, they've been used by other children, I just think is so special. And there actually are a couple that are missing from this collection because they are all numbered, and I will be on the hunt on eBay to try and find the missing books. And that in itself is a little bit of fun as well. So once I do have the whole collection, these will be staying with me probably the rest of my life, really. I feel like they're always something I'm going to want to hold on to, and I'll be able to read them to my children and potentially my own grandchildren. I really love these, and I know children's books, just in general, I would love to buy some more, and I'm always looking at the secondhand shops for them because there are some really common ones like Guess How Much I Love You, Possum Magic is a classic Australian kids book, and I'm currently looking for those when I'm in secondhand shops, because again, it's always nice opening up a book and it's got like a little inscription at the beginning, like this was gifted to so-and-so back in 1972 or something like that. I always just think it's nice to kind of continue that story on. So there's some recent ones. I've got another couple of things here. We've got these gorgeous coasters, which I've shared with you before, but I watch a YouTube channel here on YouTube, and they have a channel called Chateau de Pernon, and they're an Australian couple who purchased an old chateau in France, and they are currently renovating it, and they vlog the whole process. So they restored their entire roof, and with the old slate tiles, which have been there for over 250 years, they have turned into coasters. So Ryan and I use these every single day, and again, they're just really special. I also bought the same set for my parents because I know they watch the YouTube channel as well. They're actually the ones that put me onto it. And it's just nice that, again, it has a little bit of a story to it. I'm using something that's over 250 years old, and it comes in this gorgeous little box as well. And then the last thing I wanted to share with you, because I actually forgot I had it until recently, and it's a little candle like snuff. And I purchased this when we were in the south of France. We actually drove all the way to Provence because it's somewhere that I always wanted to visit. And I just think it's really special. Again, it holds memories, and it actually matches this key quite beautifully. And they both sit on the drinks cabinet and look really nice. So yeah, just in general, I find having intentional home decor pieces to be very luxurious, and I am so excited to see what I find next. I'm always on the hunt for like a really nice vase or something, and there is nothing I love more than walking into someone's home and it's got that eclectic lived-in feel to it. And it also has a bit of their personality. That's what I really want to do with this place. I don't want it to just be boring, clean lines, really modern, something that you would see out of a magazine. I want it to feel like our home. And I feel like all of these items really help to create that. Moving on, we have luxury makeup. So this may not be luxurious to everyone, and it's something that I never thought I would be someone that would have such a feeling towards luxury makeup. However, I did try out a couple of samples quite a long time ago now, and ever since using them, I just kind of realized that putting on your makeup each day and doing that little ritual can be really special if you invest in some really good quality products. Obviously skincare is out of the picture, even though I've tried some really beautiful products over the years, they just don't work for me. But makeup is somewhere that I can have a little bit more fun. So I have been building my Chanel makeup collection now for the past probably 3 or 4 years, I would say. And it's definitely something that I have built up because a lot of these items can be quite expensive, and they're things that I really save up for and purchase either for my birthday or if I run out of something. And again, this won't be luxury for everyone. Some people won't feel the feeling that I get when using luxury makeup, but it's just something that I can't really explain why. I think it might be the scent, the texture. I just really enjoy it's Chanel in particular. I don't have a lot of other luxury brands. I haven't really tried them. It might be something I, do in the future. But for now, I have just been building a collection of Chanel products. So I wanted to just highlight a couple of my all-time favorites. So we've got the Chanel foundation. This one, when I first used it, I thought it might be too dewy for my skin because my skin does tend to be a little more combination oily. However, since it's been colder weather, this has been perfect. So I believe this is their Healthy Glow foundation. It's one of their most popular. It's also one of their most affordable that they have on offer. And I have this in the color B20, but I honestly feel like I can't go back to regular foundation now. Like I said, it's the scent, it's everything. And call me, a little bit extra, but I don't spend a lot of money on other things, especially now since I'm not spending money on any skincare. I can afford to kind of go for products like this. So I absolutely love their foundation. Next one that I definitely wanted to mention is their bronzer. I know it has such amazing reviews. Everyone raves about this product. Even people who don't have like a luxury makeup collection, they will always swear by this. And I ended up purchasing it only quite recently actually, and I've been using it every single day. I have a little bit on my face today. It is winter here, so I only use a very small amount. I feel like a lot of their products blend really well together. So having pretty much a full routine of Chanel based products has been really nice, and it's turned something that I used to see as a chore, like getting ready and doing my makeup in the morning, to a really beautiful experience and something I look forward to. Now, I probably should have mentioned this when I was talking about the teacup in the beginning, but loose leaf tea is something we have been enjoying so much and the whole ritual of. So I bought us those little tea leaf strainers, and ever since then Ryan and I have just been buying loose leaf tea. And yeah, it's just really nice of an evening, even throughout the day. If both of us are working from home, we'll make ourselves a nice little tea, and we've just thoroughly enjoyed it. So I've got, there's two that are like quite nice and a little more on the expensive side. So I've actually run out of one. It's the peppermint tea from T2, really, really beautiful. And there's nothing like it. I feel like I've tried a lot of peppermint teas, a lot of different brands, and that one is by far my favorite. The next one I wanted to mention is from the Tea Collective. And obviously the packaging is just absolutely gorgeous. This is it's the Wild Earl Grey blend. To be honest, it's just such a pretty blend. And as I pour hot water onto it, you can just see everything expanding, and I absolutely just love making tea. Sometimes I'll have this not because I actually feel like an Earl Grey, but because I just want to watch all of those petals and everything expand. So really loving that one. We recently purchased some from Madura. This is more of just an affordable brand for our everyday, the tea that we drink most. This is from Madura, Australia. They do sell this brand at Woolies, but the only loose leaf tea option they have is green tea. And both Ryan and I don't really like green tea. So I actually jumped online, and yeah, these are very affordable. So we've got peppermint, chamomile, and then we've also got English breakfast tea. And I am looking to, I've probably got some jars, I don't think I need to purchase any, but it would be nice to put these all in little separate jars and make little labels for them, just so it's easier access, because the boxes can be quite annoying. So if you're looking for an affordable loose leaf tea brand, Madura is a great one. Now, this wouldn't be a luxury video if I didn't mention fragrance, and I feel like fragrance is a very special thing because it obviously uses another one of your senses, and smell can bring a lot of memories, and it can be so personal to you because obviously it works with your own body chemistry. So it can be super fun trying to work out what is your signature fragrance. Now for me, I really do enjoy trying out new fragrances all the time, and I love to just wake up of a morning and think, what do I feel like today? Because pretty much every day I feel like something different. However, there are two fragrances in particular that I always go back to. and for a couple of different reasons. The first I wanted to mention is Coach. It's actually called Coach by Coach. And my mum purchased me this fragrance years and years ago. This is probably my 4th or 5th bottle now. And I started using it, and I think it was right as I was entering adulthood. And it has, if you ever smell this scent, it smells quite sophisticated. It makes me feel very elegant. I usually use this of an evening. We're actually going out for dinner this afternoon for our 1-year wedding anniversary. And this is the scent I would choose for that. And it's kind of just become my signature scent, and I absolutely love it. I never get sick of it. It doesn't matter how many times I try other scents, I will always go back to this one, and it's quite affordable as well. I really love this one, and it's not just the scent for me, it's the fact that I really use this in my early adult years, and I think I just look at it as like, that is me, that is my signature scent. So I really enjoy this one. The next one is quite recent. I would have purchased it about a year ago now, and I bought this one whilst I was in France, and I'm gonna be completely honest, the actual scent, I don't love it. I purchased it because I really wanted one, and I tried out all of their scents. This one was the best that kind of worked with my body chemistry. There was another one that I preferred more when I just smelt it, but once I actually applied it, I didn't like it as much. So anyway, I opted for this. It's from the brand Fragonard, which is like the classic French perfume brand, and we actually went to one of their distilleries, and this has to be one of my most worn fragrances, and it's because it brings back memories. Once I purchased this, I was using it whilst we were on holiday, and every single time I put this on, I think of the south of France. So it's got a very fresh scent to it. I might apply it now actually. And it smells very clean. It actually smells like I've just had a shower and used soap all over my body, but it doesn't have like that soapy smell. So again, this is something that smells really nice, but it's more about the memories that it brings. And every time Ryan smells it as well, he says the same thing. He's like, oh, that reminds me of the south of France. And it's because this is what I was wearing. But again, fragrances don't have to be expensive. I think it's so nice that there are certain fragrances I will smell and I think of a particular person, like one of my friends, and I just know that that is the perfume they always wear, and I just love the idea of that. So if you find one that you like and you continue to use it day to day, I think that just makes it special in itself. Now, even though this is something I cannot have at the moment, but I have just really, really missed, more so than I ever thought I would miss, and that is wine, like a really nice bottle of wine. That is something that Ryan and I really enjoy, is sharing over a few nights, like a nice bottle of wine. And it's definitely the experience for me. I don't drink alcohol for the buzz or anything. That's something I've realized about myself since pregnancy. I actually love the taste, and I love the act of pouring myself a glass of wine, either having a nice hot bath or of a Friday evening when I've had a big week. It's so nice to just sit down and sip on a glass of wine. Definitely in like the last year or two, I don't just go into the bottle and just select any bottle of wine. I will always look at where it's made. I always like to just, I'm definitely more intentional about it. So if you're not pregnant and you enjoy wine, please have a glass for me. It's so funny because people who actually know me in my personal life know that I'm not a big drinker. I never really drink, but a glass of wine is something I have always loved, and it's definitely the ritual of it rather than just the actual taste and everything. It's about just winding down, and again, it's almost like drinking out of a teacup. For now, I'll have to just stick with my teacup and my tea. Next, I wanted to actually mention my planner, because the whole act of planning or journaling I find to be not only therapeutic, but it's just such a beautiful routine. It gives me so much comfort, and I feel quite elegant at times when I'm at work and everyone's just got their basic notebooks out and I pull out like a nice organized planner. There's something about it that I really enjoy. So I do a lot of planning videos here on my channel. I've got such a collection of planners, but these are some of the ones I've been using a lot recently. So this one I use as my little cash stuffing binder. This I use as my daily agenda and my monthly schedule in here. This again is a vintage designer piece. This I use for my cash stuffing. So I sell the clear binders on my website. I'll link it below, because these, if you're not sure if you're a planner kind of person, this is a great way to get started. You can use these for journaling as well. Just buy some lined inserts. The act of planning, I'm not really a journaler. It would be nice to start getting into journaling, because I think that would be a really nice ritual. And I get a lot of comments from people saying, oh, I just can't stick to planning because I would rather just put a reminder in my phone. For me, it's not just about the reminder of appointments and things. It's about the routine and the ritual of sitting down and taking that time to empty out my thoughts and empty out my brain. I think that's why journaling would be really good, because it's a way of really clearing your mind, which I think is so important for stress management and just overall wellness. Only got a couple more things to go. I wanted to mention natural cleaning products, because again, just the idea of using natural products within my home that have that essential oil smell is something that I find quite luxurious and I really enjoy. So I started buying the Koala Eco range. And in addition to that, you guys know I use essential oils for pretty much everything. I use them just in my day-to-day life when I'm doing planning and things like that. I'll pop them in my diffuser, or I'll use these little roll-ons throughout the workday before I go to bed at night. I just think they're really nice. Again, they just make me feel a sense of calm. And I also have a lot of diffuser drops, which not only will I use in the diffuser to make the house smell really nice, but I use them so much more so in my cleaning, to be honest. So these, I have a selection of Willow Lane ones here, which I have recently made available on my website, because my friend owns this brand, Willow Lane, and I mention them all the time on my channel, not because I have to, because I genuinely use them day to day. These are a handbag essential, these are a home essential, and I was mentioning them so much, and I had so many questions from you guys being like, oh, I definitely want to purchase them, where do I get them? So I actually spoke to Chloe and I said, should I just stock some on my website, like be a bit of a stockist? And I listed these about a week ago now, and you guys seem to be loving them, which I am so happy about, because of course you're supporting her small business as well. Next is homemade and homegrown. Obviously the expense of time and effort it has taken for you to either make that item or grow those plants or herbs or flowers, there is something special in that, and whenever you get to the chance of using them, they evoke a really nice feeling. So for me personally, I recently started our little balcony herb garden, and last night I made a really nice pesto pasta and I used the basil leaves on top, and I just loved eating that meal. It just felt that little bit more special because I had something in there that was homegrown. And then when it comes to homemade, I am very lucky. I have a mum that is so creative. Everything she touches just turns into something beautiful. She can paint, sew, she loves pottery, crocheting, you name it, she can make it. And through her, I've been introduced to a lot of just, you know, homemaking activities, I guess. So I actually have a couple of things that I have made either recently or a few years ago that I wanted to share with you. So quite recently, I actually made, this is just some of them, the others I'm actually using in my pots. But these are those little stakes, like pottery stakes that you put into your herb pot or your garden, and it just has the little labels there. And then I have this little, it's kind of like a little vase here, and I was unsure of what to use it for. I made it years ago now, and I was inspired by when my sister and I went to Portugal back in 2013. I noticed that on the side of this like cliff, they had these stairs and like this little archway, and it was where they actually used to bring slaves in, apparently. Anyway, I remember thinking of that, and I wanted to create this little vase because I just thought it looked really beautiful. And it was such an awkward size, so I never reached for it. However, recently, it is the perfect holder for my matches. So these are the long matches that you can purchase just from Woolies. And I have glued like the little match you know, thing to light it on the bottom, and now it's like the perfect little match holder, and I absolutely love it. And again, just looking at it sitting on my TV cabinet, it's really nice because all of that was handmade. So my sister got into like embroidery, getting those embroidery rings. You can get a little kit from Kmart for only a few dollars, and she started practicing on the embroidery rings and just some cotton, and then she ended up embroidering Valley's name on like a gorgeous baby blanket. She also made this little Easter bunny embroidery that she hangs in her kitchen, and it has their family name on it. I just think it's so beautiful and adds such a touch of them to their house. And mum's going to make my child, when I give birth, I was trying to think, oh, what's their little outfit that they're going to wear? Obviously we don't know if we're having a boy or a girl. And mum's going to make little crocheted booties because she makes them all the time. And I said to her if she could make a purple pair and a green pair, and then whichever gender the baby is, I will use those. And again, it's just nice to have something that their grandma has made for them to wear in those early stages, which I think is so special. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a little bit of a different one. I hope it was easy to kind of stay on track. I was really just trying to think of things that I really love in my life, and it was nice to look at luxury in that way rather than it being such a unachievable, unattainable thing. This is something that we can all do, bring into our everyday just to make it that little bit more luxurious. So if you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I've got a lot of exciting content on the way, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.